Alrighty. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Well, I hope you're all ready to have some really nice fun. Hey everyone, it's James, also as Flameman. Welcome back to another live stream. And today, I am gonna be called a jackass for buying this piece of shit. We are doing a Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour so other people don't have to play this game and hurl nuclear bombs, I mean figurative nuclear bombs, over to Japan. Anyway, let's get this started, I guess. So anyways, I do want to also remind everyone that in Japan, this game itself is called Nintendo Switch 2 Exhibition of Secrets. I don't know why I didn't go with this one internationally. That would have made more sense. Anyways, let's just get right into the action and let's just enter. Welcome to the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Select an appearance. Alright. I'll take this guy. He looks the most like me. Entry will begin soon, so please proceed to the gate. Welcome. Come on in. Alright. Here we go. We've made it to... Well, hello and welcome. What do you think of the venue? It's the biggest Nintendo Switch 2 you ever... Is this the biggest Nintendo Switch 2 you've ever seen, or what? Yeah. Go ahead and walk all over it. Oh, I certainly will. There are all sorts of things to do around here. You can gain some insight into what makes Nintendo Switch 2 tick, take some quizzes about the system, series of tech demos that show off the system's features, and of course, play minigames! Nice. What was the last thing? Oh, the stamp rally. Stamps are hidden all over the place, so happy hunting! By the way, if you want to move around quickly, press and hold B to run. The exhibition is really big, so it might save you some time. Yeah, very well then. So, I guess this is the best way. Alright, let's check what we got here. Left stick. Were you startled up by that stamp popping up? Don't worry, it's harmless. Have fun with the stamp rally. Hunting down the hidden stamps is sure to be a blast. Alright, there we go. So you want to take a look around. So you can learn some stuff around Nintendo Switch 2. Alright. You can learn about HD Rumble 2 here. You'll learn all about the kinds of vibrations it makes, where it's located, how it works, and more. Sure, let's take a look at it. Alright, here's HD Rumble 2, Insights 1. Alright, here we go. HD Rumble 2. Take a look here. These are the HD Rumble 2 parts for the Nintendo Switch 2 console. They're different from the HD Rumble parts for the Nintendo Switch console. In fact, these parts have been custom built from the ground up. They're housed within both the Joy-Con 2 and Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller. In order to lift both the Joy-Con and Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller, they had to undergo even further separate customization. Alright, so HD Rumble 2 has been designed from the ground up. It's a further customized for both the Joy-Con 2 and Pro Controller. Alright. Alright, next up, let's see how Rumble works. The Rumble of the controller is created when magnets and electromagnets shift the weight. The Rumble of older Nintendo controllers is created by a motor spinning at a weight. When it comes to Nintendo Switch HD Rumble and Nintendo Switch 2 HD Rumble 2, the weight isn't spinning. Instead, it vibrates side to side at a very high speed. Similar to how some trains use magnets to levitate, wanting to move at extremely high speeds. Vibrating the weight sideways makes it easier to make it rumble in various ways. That's nice. So, Rumble is created using magnets and electromagnets. HD Rumble 2 is created by a weight vibrating sideways. Alright. Alright, let's check here. Powerful Rumble. The Nintendo Switch 2 console's HD Rumble 2 features a range of intensity, from very weak vibrations like a gentle touch, to much stronger vibrations. Maximum strength, sensationally much stronger than the HD Rumble on Nintendo Switch. However, strong vibrations won't be used the whole time you're playing the game. Rather, the more powerful are reserved for specific moments where it makes the most sense. Alright, so HD Rumble 2 has a range of vibration from weak to strong. The Rumble can be very strong at maximum power, but it won't be constant. Okay, and lastly, HD Rumble 2 is in your hands. Joy-Con 2 controllers rumble in your hands. They're designed to transmit this sensation directly, no matter how you're holding them. This is because HD Rumble 2 parts are directly attached to the plastic on the back. The parts being so close to where your hands are holding the controllers makes the vibrations easier to feel. The HD Rumble 2 parts are attached to the plastic on the backs of the Joy-Con 2 controllers. You read all the insights? Great. Alright, quiz time! Now you got all that knowledge on your belt, it's time for a quiz. Alright, let's do it. 4 questions. Alright, Volume 1. That is the HD Rumble 2. Shakes from side to side. This is my kind of game. It can be either strong or weak. Alright, last question. The HD Rumble parts attach you to plastic on the back. Alright, let's see how I did. Ah, nice! Perfect score! Alright, amazing. Full marks. You really know what's what when it comes to HD2 Rumble now, hey? There we go. Alrighty. So, let's go around, see what else we can find. Oh. What's this? A release button. You can lightly press these buttons to attach to Joy-Con 2 controllers from the console. Nice. Actually, I think it would be more fun if I play with detached Joy-Cons. So we just slide this in. And I'll slide this in. Can't really see it because I don't have a camera, but I'm sliding the wrist straps in. Alrighty. Let's see what else we can find. Alright. SL button. Nice. Alright, mouse sensor. Ah! So like this? These sensors check the surface they're on to work out how they've moved. Oh, we're finding a lot of stuff here. Player LED. And now, magnetic connector. This mechanism attaches the Joy-Con 2 controllers to the console. Alright. Sync button. Nice. We're finding a lot of stuff already. SR button. Alright. Now, the mouse foot. When you use mouse controls, the mouse feet makes the Joy-Con 2 controllers easier to move around. Oh, nice. You can learn about attaching and detaching Joy-Con 2 controllers here. Find out how they attach to the console that can actually attach them backwards and more. Yeah. Alright, magnetic conductor insights 1. Here we go, let's see this. Attaching and detaching Joy-Con 2 is easy. To attach the Joy-Con 2 controllers from the Nintendo Switch 2 console, simply press the release buttons, and they'll come off in an instant. You'll be able to detach them to any of the consoles and dock. What's more, you can detach each one with a single hand. To attach the Joy-Con 2, simply bring them near the console. They're easy to both detach and attach. Ah, nice. Alright, next up, the Joy-Con 2 attach magnetically. Oh yeah! We went from sliding them in to putting magnets. Do you know the Joy-Con 2 controllers attached to the console? They use magnets. Unlike Nintendo Switch, there is no locking mechanism to prevent the controllers from being attached. The only thing keeping them connected is the force of the magnets. Ah, nice. Joy-Con 2 controllers attached to the main console using magnets. They're attached only through magnetic force. Alright, next up. Here's a fun fact about Joy-Con 2 controllers. Each controller can be attached to the opposite side of the console. Oh, I didn't know that. They can even be attached backwards. However, this orientation is not recommended. The Joy-Con 2 controllers won't charge when attached this way. Ah, that's nice. Joy-Con 2 controllers can be attached on either side or even backwards, but I'm not going to do that. That would be cruel of me. Alright, where are the magnets? The Joy-Con 2 controller is attached to the Nintendo Switch 2 console magnetically. But just where are these magnets? Well, they're on the main body of the console. Joy-Con 2 controllers don't have any magnets that attach to the console. The SL and SR buttons are made of steel. The magnets on the console attach to the SL/SR buttons. Magnets that connect the Joy-Con 2 controllers to the console are on the console's main body. Alright! Let's go and try to quiz out. Alright. Let's do it. Alright. Magnetic connectors. Volume 1. Okay. So release buttons. Telekinesis, that's funny. Alright, which one of the following uses the attached Joy-Con 2 controllers? That's the release buttons. Alrighty. Which of the following uses to attach the Joy-Con 2 controllers to Nintendo's True console? Glue. Love. A locking mechanism. Those are magnets. Alright, question 3. In which ways can Nintendo, all of the above, but don't put your remotes backwards. They won't charge that way. And lastly, where are the magnets that keep the Joy-Con 2 controllers, located? Inside the console. Haha! Once again, another perfect score. Alright. There we go. Alright, we're gonna... How are you enjoying the insight quizzes? If you like, I can give you some very special insights. Oh, that's nice. Alright, let's go take a look at what else we can find here. There is so much so much things here to discover. Alright, what do we got here? Upper mouse foot. Nice. Okay, that is pretty nice. The minus button is a bench. Holy cow, holy cow. Alright. Oh, there we go. ZL button. And excuse me, I am Canadian. I say it as Z, not Z. And keep in mind, every single other country that speaks English says it as Z. So, I'm gonna throw that out there. Alright, next... Oh, and there we have the L button. That's pretty nice. I still wonder when Scott Wozniak will make an episode on L buttons. Probably never. Alright. What else can we find here? Power button and a left stick. Oh, there we go. Left button. And this must be a D-pad. Up button. I'm right. It is a D-pad. Oh! Whoa, would you look at that? You can tilt right, left and right to get a better view of the surroundings. Alright, right button. And lastly, we got the down button. And we got the capture button. Oh, and look at that! We completed Area A. So we can now enter Area B. We'll come back here, but right now I want to take a look at some other stuff. Let's see what we got here. Alright. Hey, did I already show off your mouse skills? Mouse controls allow you to move your character more quickly and accurately than control sticks. I can't wait for the day that computers kill consoles. In this minigame, there will be lots of spike balls falling from the sky, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot. You'll need to use your mouse skills to dodge gracefully and weave tactically around them. I need a laptop desk. It can be pretty tricky, so stay focused. Alright, we're gonna try out dodge the spike balls. Alright, here we go. Dodge the spike ball survival mode. Okay. This is it, requires mouse. Okay, I can use them with my legs. That's nice, that's nice. Alright, let's see how this works. Alright, we made it in 20 seconds. Not bad. We're gonna try again, see if we can get 30 seconds. This is pretty fun. I don't know if I'm really gonna use the mouse controls in, like, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I think I'll stick to gyros for that. But it is pretty cool, we got this. Holy shit, did I need to get the 30? Wow. Wow. I feel like a badass. Alrighty. Okay. It's pretty nice. Alright. Dodge the spike balls with ease, such elegant mouse handling. Oh, part 2 is available now. That's nice. Collecting clear medals, huh? Oh, hey, looks like you got your first medal. I've already got 5. Yep, I'm pretty good at this stuff. Right then, so next up what I want to do is I want to go over... Oh, what's this? Should you find any lost items as you make your way for the welcome tour, please be a helper and bring it to the information center. Oh, good, good. I gotta go back right now. Welcome, thanks for using the Lost and Found desk. I found some. Oh, thanks for turning this in. I have a feeling that somewhere out there a lost item longs for its own. If you happen to find it, please bring it to me. Alright, keep in mind, we will find lost and found stuff. Ah, who are you? Oh, I can invert the camera controls for you if you want. No, that'd be fine, that'd be fine. Thanks anyway. Oh god, Nintendo needs to do something like this in real life. Alright, here we go. Let's move on. Alright, let's see what we got here. This minigame will showcase some of what the HD Rumble 2 feature can do. Alright. You're likely aware that HD Rumble 2 can produce very strong vibrations. This minigame will allow you to experience these strong vibrations firsthand. Move the mouse from side to side, and the vibration will change strength. Try to find where the vibration is strongest. Let's do it. Excuse me. Oh, by the way, if anyone's in chat, is the audio good? I can turn it down a bit. Like that. Okay. Here we go. Find where the rumble is strongest. Okay. Oh, this is pretty fun. How close was I? Almost there. Oh my god, I got 2 medals in one go. Awesome. Oh. There we go. Well, I liked that. Simply exceptional. It seems you're able to gauge the strength of the rumble quite well. Alright, we can now do part 2. We will come back here later. There's a lot of medals you can get. Alright then, so my next area I'd like to go to would be... Oh, if you've got time. Okay, so this is not a game per se, but give it a try. This time you'll get to shape the Joy-Con 2 controllers as if they were a pair of maracas. Physics-based calculations are used to make the beads in the maracas behave like real beads. As the beads shake around inside Joy-Con 2 controllers, rumble to simulate the effect. Move the beads around inside the maracas and see for yourself what each your own 2 is capable of. Let's do it! Alrighty. Okay, so, controls. We got a checklist. Shake the beads 20 times, change parents, shake a rubber ball 20 times, gently roll the beads, and then we got something else. I wonder what this could be. Let's do it. Oh boy, we're gonna have some fun here. Wow, I got them all! It's actually quite fun. Alright, we're done. I gotta be honest, I wish Nintendo would do more tech demos would do more things like this in real life. Like, shit like they're still tomorrow. Hopefully they give you a good taste of the HD Rumble 2 feature. Alright, how's your medal collection coming along? I've wrapped up 10. Pretty impressive, I know. Alright then, let's go over to Area B now. Did you get all the stamps in Area A? Yes, I did. Alright, yep, you got every last one. Good job. Head on through. Area B is up ahead and can be a little slippery, so watch your step. And... wow, we got ourselves Zadok. This? No, we got the console. We got the tablet itself. They weren't lying when they said slippery. Alrighty, so... Let's see. See where we can go. Alright, I know. Oh, there we go. We found something. Air intake, lower right. Good. Alright, USB Type-C connector, lower. Alright. Alright, air intake, lower left. Alright. Left speaker. Nice. Okay, let's... Alright. There we go. Right speaker. Okay. Now we're on the bottom. Let's head up to the top. Let's see what else we can find. Alright, there we go. We got a microphone. Microphone can also remove background noise. It's a lot like the microphone used in the Nintendo DS. Alright. Game card slot. Nice. Oh, audio jack. Good. You're gonna need an audio jack. And there we had the USB Type-C connector, upper. This connector can be used to charge the console's battery, connect the camera, and more. Shit that I'm not gonna be getting. Alright. There we go. Got that. Is there anything else here to discover? Oh. Air vent. Alright. Brightness sensor. Okay, we already got that. The volume buttons. And the power button. Alright, now there's 3 missing, so I'm gonna pull the map up. I'm gonna walk around the screen, see what I can find. Because I'm pretty sure there's something here hidden. I'm gonna find something hidden. Alright. I've already been there. My sixth sense, it speaks to me. It's saying there's a hidden stamp near here. Alright. I don't see a fucking stamp anywhere. Oh, why don't we go down here? Oh, there it is. Magnetic connector left. This mechanism attaches a Joy-Con 2 left to the console. That was pretty well hidden. Alright. I'm sure there's one on either side. Never thought we'd get to take a look around somewhere like this. I'm gonna check out every inch of this place, corner to corner, top to bottom. Alright, let's head over this way. I can't stop thinking about that staff member who talked like a poet. My hands continued to tremble as I handed the controllers back. Ah, nice. Where the hell? Where the hell is the last one? And that controller right. The mechanism attaches to the Joy-Con 2 right to the console. That means I have one missing. Let's go find it. Alright. I have no idea where this last one might be. Nope, I've been there. Done that. Where the hell is this last thing? Where could this last thing be? Let's go take a look again. Okay. Alright. Just keep walking around. Alright. What do you got? You can learn about Nintendo Switch 2 console speakers here. You'll discover how they make sound, their inner workings, and more. Sure, I'm interested. Cool, and I'm gonna hit you with the console speaker insights, okay? Perfect. Alright, tightly sealed box. The Nintendo Switch 2 speaker parts haven't actually changed. They use the same they're the same speaker parts that are used in the Nintendo Switch OLED model. But they function a little better on the Nintendo Switch 2 console. They produce better sound. This is because speaker parts are placed in the box. We made sure all sides of the box are tightly sealed except for the front. If there's a gap where sound can leak out, it may cancel out the sound from the front or make them out muffed. The sound may be distorted and not come out as intended, even though the console uses the same speaker parts as before. So I always seal gaps around to make the sound come out more accurately. Alright, speaker parts are housed in the box. The box is tightly sealed except for the front. Alright. The box is cushioned. If you look at the box containing the Nintendo Switch 2 speaker parts, you'll see there are some spongy cushions attached on the top and bottom. They are firmly sandwiched to the box. Because of this, other parts won't shake around along with the box. If other parts were to end up shaking, the sound would get muddied and wouldn't come out as intended. So, the box housing the speaker parts is sandwiched by cushions, and this prevents vibration from carrying the other parts. Alright. Playing data accurate sounds. Speakers are parts that turn sound data into sound. But that's when sound enters your ears. For various reasons, it doesn't sound exactly like original data. On a Nintendo Switch 2 console, in order to make the sound close to the original data, we add the sound that's played for the speakers. We record and analyze the sound of the speakers, and calculate how to edit the sound in advance. Nintendo Switch 2 is a faster computer. As such, it's able to process sounds in high quality. By the way, Nintendo Switch 2 speakers are designed to fit as tightly as possible inside the console. Because this, they actually slope diagonally downward a little. But by editing the sound, you manage to make it sound as if the speakers are facing forward. The sound is processed to be as close as possible to the original data, and the speakers slope diagonally downward, but they sound like they're facing forward. Alright, let's go take the quiz! Alright, let's do it. What do we got? Alright, console speakers. Alright, question number 1. Alright. What is about the box that has the speakers inside the Nintendo Switch 2 console that also produce sound as accurately as possible? It's tightly sealed on all sides front. I just love the funny answers they put in. Question number 2. The box that houses the speakers on Nintendo Switch 2 console soundtrack which objects? Clothespins, metal plates, cushions, or thin slices of bread? That'd be cushions. Alright, last question. Which console do the speakers inside in which direction do the speakers inside Nintendo Switch 2 console point? Diagonally downward. I am not gonna get this right. Oh, I did! Oh, you got all the answers right! Give it up for our new rising star! Like a pro at speaker trivia. Perfect. Give me that. Alright. Alright, you can learn about Nintendo Switch 2 console stand here. You'll learn about the particulars of the stand, such as why it's U-shaped. Oh, I'm interested. Your stand size. As you'll see, you only have to make one stop to read these. Alright, stand. There's a stand on the back of the console. You can use it to prop the console up. The angle that the console sits at can be adjusted freely. Starting from a fully closed position, the stand opens up to 150 degrees. You can fix it in place at any point within this range. Nintendo Switch 2 console stand has a different shape for Nintendo Switch consoles. The OLED model is pictured here. For Nintendo Switch 2, we've made it U-shaped and left more space in the middle. This allows us to make the fan and battery bigger and add new antennas. As a result, the console is now able to perform more calculations. One more thing about this stand. It's made of an aluminum alloy, which is very light and robust. It's about as light and robust as a material known as extra super duralumin, which is used in airplanes and spacecraft. Pretty cool. The stand can be angled freely. It's also about as light and robust as extra super duralumin. Alright. Quiz time! If you're ready to refine, allow me to administer a short quiz. Go ahead. Let's do it. Alrighty. Stand. It is... What is the shape of the Nintendo Switch 2 console stand? U-shaped. So as you can see, what we have here, we have Switch 1, Switch 1 OLED, Switch 2, and then the V shape is the Wii U. That's pretty cool right there. Alright, and next up, the aluminum alloy is used in the Nintendo Switch 2 console stands roughly as light and robust as what other material? Duralumin. I got this one wrong. Ah! Let's try it again. Alright, so I know it's not duralumin. So... we're gonna try this again. Alright, so it's extra super duralumin. Alright. Hopefully third time's the charm. Alright. There we go. We did it. Alright, you answered all questions. There we go. I just wonder where is the last portion? Alright, you already got 2 medals? Go you! Then we can consider this demo Boom! Open for business. Still try the HDR experience, won't you? High dynamic range. You can see just how much the fireworks change by toning HDR on and off. I've been instructed to tell visitors that the price will depend on your TV's HDR capabilities. We will pass on that, but nice to know we got that option. Let's see what this is. This thing, you need to spot the difference between pairs of videos. The image you show on screen when you play a game changes rapidly. We call the rate at which it changes the frame rate, which is measured in frames per second or FPS. The higher the frame rate, the smoother the game will look. Temperature 2 can reach out to 120 FPS. Can you tell the smoothness of 120 frames apart from other frame rates? Alright, we're gonna try this, but I think my capture card and my TV might shit themselves. Let's do this. Yep, my TV shat itself. Alright, guess the rate the picture changes at. That was 20 FPS. Well, good. We're not attempting that again. Now, if I can find that fucking stand, that'd be pretty nice. Alright. Alright. We need 9 medals here. Oh, a Super Mario Bros. Demo. The 4K image on Nintendo 2 console right now is made up of lots of different pixels. Images on the old NES or Famicom had far fewer pixels than this. Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. I can totally imagine. Alright, if you try to display each pixel from the back and with pixels in Mario 4K image, there's a massive difference. Game screen ends up looking super small. A look at World 1-1 from Super Mario Bros. Tells you all you really need to know. Alright, I'll try this out, but if my TV shits itself. Okay. Super Mario Bros. 4K 1.1. Experience the vastness of 4K. Okay, complete the course, enter a pipe and complete the course. Complete the course as Fire Mario, fully explore and complete the course. We got one more. Wow. Yeah, difference is night and day here. Holy cow. Look at how tiny this is. Alright. It may look mundane by today's standards, but back in 1985, this was steady. Okay. Okay, this is starting to strain my eyes. This is starting to strain my eyes a little. Yep, we're done. Okay. Man. Alright. Well, that was it. Well, that was that. Don't have an hour go whenever you want. Alright, where is the last stamp? It's gotta be here somewhere. Alrighty. Oh. Wow! There it was! That was a very well hidden stamp. There we go. We got all the stamps here. Alright, we can go to Area C next. Right now, I'm just gonna take a quick peek. See if there's anything I missed. Alright, been here. Perfect! Another quiz. You can learn about Nintendo Switch 2 console screen here. You'll find out how clear and smooth the display is, as well as concepts like HDR, VWR, 120 Hz, and more. Hey, let's do it. As long as it doesn't break my television. Oh, we got 5. Okay, that's a lot to remember. Crisp and detailed screen. If you can zoom in really close to Nintendo Switch 2's console screen, you'd see that it's made up of lots of little dots. These dots are called pixels. There are 1,920 horizontally and 1,080 vertically to be precise. This is called 1920 by 1080 resolution. That's 2.25 times the resolution of a Nintendo Switch console. In fact, it's the highest resolution ever used on a Nintendo console. I see, we go from Game Boy to Game Boy Color to Game Boy Advance to Nintendo DS to Nintendo 3DS to Wii U and Nintendo Switch. Nice. As for the size of the pixels, they're the smallest of any Nintendo console to date. Having the most pixels and the smallest pixels provides a crisper, more detailed screen. Oh, that's nice. Alright, bright light. The Nintendo Switch 2 screen can produce some very bright light. You could also say this screen is HDR compatible. HDR here stands for High Dynamic Range. The Nintendo Switch console has approximately 16.77 million different types of light and color. Meanwhile, the Nintendo Switch 2 console can use hundreds of millions of different types of light and color. In games that support HDR, it is now possible to display bright, intense light. The screen you're looking at right now is a simple image that doesn't use HDR. If we were to enable HDR, it'll look like this. And note that this image is just for reference. Wow, that's bright. That is bright right there. In the non-HDR image, there's very little brightness and difference in brightness between the most vivid parts of the explosion and area around it. Meanwhile, the HDR image, the brighter areas can shine very brightly, while the darker parts remain unchanged. Don't worry. We took care not to make it too bright. Okay, that's nice. Nintendo Switch 2 screen can display bright, vivid light. It can use hundreds of millions of different types of light and color. Alright, smooth movement. The Nintendo Switch 2 console screen can change image at high speeds. Up to 120 times per second, in fact. So, we can say that the screen is 120 Hz compatible. The faster the picture changes, the smoother the movements will appear. The Nintendo Switch console screen changes images up to 60 times per second. So, a ray of 120 times per second will mean that the movement looks twice as smooth. The game as shown is just an example, but for games that support 120 Hz, most movements will appear smoother. Using the right stick to look around will feel smoother, and scrolling the screen will look smoother. That's not the only benefit of playing games that support 120 Hz. The world appears to you 1/120th of a second faster, which could give you an advantage during very intense gameplay. So, images can be changed up to 120 times per second, and movement is smooth in 120 Hz compatible games. Alright. And now, it's less choppy. Here's another thing about the Nintendo Switch 2's console screen. It can make games feel less quote-unquote choppy. You could also say the screen is VRR compatible, which is short for variable refresh rate. When you're playing a game, a lot of characters appear on the screen. Frame rate can become choppy. Here's what's happening. It takes a little longer than normal to draw each picture. But because of this, the pictures aren't ready in time for when they're meant to be updated on the screen. So if the image has been changed 60 times, even a slight delay would skew the timing. Suddenly, the pictures would update at half the rate, only 30 times per second. You can see why a game might feel choppy. So, and again, it supports VRR. The update rate can be changed on the fly to match the image completion rate. If it takes a little longer to draw the image, the update rate can be changed to 55 times per second. This is better than suddenly drawing at half the rate, so it's less likely to feel choppy. This all means that some players find VR compatible games comfortable to play, and this video is purely for reference. Screen's VR compatibility can help to reduce choppiness. Alright, last one. A touch screen. The Nintendo Switch 2 console's screen does more than just display images. It's also a touch screen that you can use with your fingers. It is designed to recognize where you touch the screen. When you're touching with two fingers, it can tell if your fingers are close together or farther apart. Some might be familiar already, but here's a little more to this. The Nintendo Switch 2 console's touchscreen can tell the position of up to 10 fingers at the same time. The Nintendo Switch 2 console screen is a touchscreen. Recognize up to 10 points that you're touching with your fingers. Great, you read all the insights. Alright. Alright, what better way to commemorate your learning than with a quiz? Alright, let's do it. 3 insights, quiz 1. Here we go. Number 1. So, the Nintendo Switch 2 console screen is made up of lots of tiny bits. What are they called? Pixels. Alright, what can the Nintendo Switch 2 console screen display by enabling HDR? Bright light. What is the max number of times the Nintendo Switch 2 console speed can change from one picture to another in the space of a second? 120th. Alright, next up. Which feature is the Nintendo Switch 2 console compatible with in order to make the screen feel less choppy? VRR. Alright, last question. How many points can be tracked in the Nintendo Switch 2 console's touchscreen at the same time? 10. Alright. We did it! Alright, perfect score. As smooth can be. I'm gonna take a moment. I'm gonna see if I can reduce the brightness on this thing. Ah, shit! Can't be changed while connected to a TV, damn it. Oh well, let's go back. Alrighty. Alright. Is there anything else we can do here? Or shall we move on? Ah! Some more quizzes. Now you can learn about Nintendo Switch 2 game cards here. You'll learn about the Nintendo Switch 2 console's red game cards, the game card slot, and some other stuff. Let's do it! Alright. Go ahead here, introducing the game card insights. Oh, only 3. And over here, we got nothing. Alright. Bringing data in a new way. If you take a peek inside a Nintendo Switch 2 game card, you'll see it's quite different from a Nintendo Switch game card. Its data can be read in a different way. Amusingly, assuming a buffer size of 4 megabytes, the read speed is about 5 times faster than that of a Nintendo Switch game card. However, some games may be doing more in the background than just loading, so it's not guaranteed to load around 5 times faster. Also, Nintendo Switch 2 game cards have a higher total capacity than Nintendo Switch game cards, so the content of these game cards are really quite different. Now, the new type of game card is quite different on the inside. It's faster than and has more total storage capacity than a Nintendo Switch game card. Alright. There are 2 different colors of game card. Nintendo Switch game cards are black, while Nintendo Switch 2 game cards are red. Other than the colors, they look practically the same in terms of size and shape. There's actually one more difference. The Nintendo Switch 2 game card has a distinct shape. When a game card is inserted into the game card slot, Nintendo Switch 2 console checks to see if the game card has this shape. This is how it tells the difference between Nintendo Switch 2 game cards and Nintendo Switch 1 game cards. It changes the way it reads the data based on this. Also, Nintendo Switch 2 game cards have a distinct shape. The console recognizes this shape. In the game card slot, the Nintendo Switch 2 console has a game card slot. But it doesn't just take red Nintendo Switch 2 game cards. You can also insert black Nintendo Switch game cards. So what does this mean? It means that in addition to being able to play games that are exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2, you can play Nintendo Switch games too. Now, certain Nintendo Switch games may not be supported on or fully compatible with Nintendo Switch 2. You can play many different games on Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo Switch 2 consoles compatible with Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch game cards. Alright, time to go take the quiz. Alright. Since you were so kind with all that free, I got a little... Okay, yep. We know. Alright, question number 1. What do Nintendo Switch 2 game cards have more of than Nintendo Switch game cards? Capacity. Alright. This purpose of Nintendo Switch 2 game cards' distinct shape. The console uses it to determine the type of the game card. Which kind of game cards can be inserted onto the Nintendo Switch 2 console? All of the above. Alright. Here we go! Perfect score! Alright, next up is oh. You can change mouse sensitivity in the system settings. Yeah. Alright, last quiz, I think. Ah, the console microphone. Sure, let's do it. Wow, that's a long list. Alright, the microphone and chip. The Nintendo Switch 2 console has built a microphone designed to improve the game chat experience. Aside from the microphone, the console also contains a chip which makes people's voices easier to hear. This is handy for when you want to chat as you play. Okay, so the Nintendo Switch 2 console has a microphone and chip designed for game chat. Noise reduction for games. The console's chip is designed to make voices easier for you to hear. One way it does so is by reducing the noise around you. This is called noise reduction. Nintendo Switch 2 console uses a form of noise reduction that's been customized for playing games. The noise reduction function doesn't just focus on spoken words, it's also designed to preserve mood and emotions. Take the sound of clapping. If you want to convey words, the sound will be treated as noise and reduced. We balance this so that the clapping doesn't go away, allowing you to immerse in the vibrant, positive atmosphere. It's a form of noise reduction designed for playing games. The noise reduction feature of the chip lets in not just words, but mood and emotions too. Alright, new noisy console sounds. The console's chip is designed to make voices easier for you to hear. One way it does so is by reducing unwanted background noise, such as the sound of a vacuum cleaner. That's not all. Nintendo Switch 2 microphone also picks up sound for the console itself. For example, it picks up the sound for the Nintendo Switch 2 console's air vent. The air vent is positioned right next to the microphone, so it ends up being much louder than a person's voice. With the chip, the loud noise is completely erased. Also, it even removes the snapping noises that you hear when you attach Joy-Con 2 controllers to the main body. It's designed to reduce as much external noise as possible so that others can hear you. The microphone picks up a number of different sounds from the console. The chip does its best to erase these sounds. Alright, erasing game sounds. The console's chip is designed to make your voice easier to hear. One way it does so is by removing game sounds that the microphone picks up from the TV or from the console's speakers. This video is purely for reference. If it didn't do this, it would be hard to hear what's being said in game chat as people talk back and forth. It can get noisy with all the overlapping sounds. Noise that gets re-amplified with this is called feedback. Note this video is purely for reference. The chip does its best to remove these game sounds and prevent feedback. Although realistically there can be all sorts of sounds coming out of a TV. These sounds can vary depending on the TV and the specific setup in your home, so removing them can be difficult. For that reason, game sounds are also sent to the chip. The chip selectively removes these sounds based on the sound quality and acoustics. The chip removes sound coming from speakers to avoid feedback. Alright, last one. Balancing voice levels. The console's chip is designed to make voices easier for you to hear. Some people are quieter than others in game chat and might make them difficult to pick out. The chip automatically makes it so that each voice can be heard at roughly the same volume. Of course, some people are naturally going to sound louder than others. Even more importantly, voice volume differs depending on the mode. In handheld mode, the console will be close to you, delivering sound straight into the microphone. In TV mode, however, the dock can be relatively far away, which means the mic may have trouble picking up sound. But if someone's up close in handheld mode or sitting on a sofa far from the TV in TV mode, you'll be able to hear people's voices at about the same volume. On top of that, even if there are several people in front of the TV and all talking loudly, the chip takes account of their individual voices and balances out their volume. You don't need to worry about people talking too loudly or quietly. Voice levels will be fine whether you're playing in handheld mode or TV mode. Alright, let's go take a quiz. Alright, let's do it. Here we go. Alright. First question. That is a microphone. Which component designed for game chat is owned to Nintendo Switch 2 console? The mic. Nintendo Switch 2 console's built-in chip removes noise to make voices easier for you to hear. But one-time sound is not removed to provide more experience. Which one? It's clapping. Alrighty. Chip that's designed to make voices easier to hear removes a buzz noise from Nintendo Switch 2 console. Where does that noise come from? A fan. Next question. The chip in the Nintendo Switch 2 console that's designed to make voices easier for you to hear removes the sound from speakers to avoid which phenomenon? That's feedback. Alright. The chip in the Nintendo Switch 2 console is designed to make people's voices for easier to hear, balances out. Which has to appeal talking game chat? I'd say the volume of their voices. Let's see. There we go! That's flawless victory. Alright. Alright, I think that's everything we got so far, so... Next up will probably be Area C. So, let's see, did you go to Samson Area B, the Nintendo Switch 2 console area? Yep! Alright, there we go. Oh, and if you feel like you're using any location you've been to before, choose an exhibit on the X map and press A. You'll be taken right there. It's pretty handy, so be sure to take advantage of it. Alright. So we got the X button. The Y button. The B button. And the A button. And we got the plus button. Alright, we got the R button, and ZR should be right around there. We go, ZR. Actually, why don't we go down here and just see what else we can discover? Oh. Lost and found. Alright, let's go here. Alright, there we go. Alright, oh! Our quiz. You can learn about Joy-Con 2 controller mouse sensors here. Oh, I didn't know. I completely forgot about this one. Let's read it. Alright, mouse controls. The Joy-Con 2 can be used as a mouse. This allows you to play games that are designed to be played with a cursor. Of course, there's more than just some new ways to play games as compared with Nintendo Switch. By the way, you might find it easier to hold a Joy-Con 2, like this. Joy-Con 2 can be used as a mouse. Mouse controls let you play games that are designed to be played with a cursor on Nintendo Switch 2. I cannot wait for the amount of computer games on Steam to be making their way over on a Switch 2. Alright, next. Okay, now here's something I already did. Now mice are typically designed to be used on desks or tables. But apparently, I was able to use on my other surface, such as my legs. Now mouse responses may vary depending on surface, because I'm now wearing black thin pajama pants. So this means you don't always have to be near a desk or table surface. I also even used my sofa as well. You'll be able to use the mouse even when sitting on a sofa. The Joy-Con 2 mouse can be used on your lap. You can plug up the mouse while sitting on your sofa. Alright, next up, mouse sensors. A mouse sensor is located on each Joy-Con 2 controller. So this is one right here. Truth is, they're actually black and white cameras with a resolution of just a handful of pixels. That's fewer pixels than the Nintendo Switch IR motion camera. It's even fewer than a Game Boy camera. Hey, remember that piece of shit, anyone? Oh god. So how are these cameras used? They check the surface they're on to see the direction and distance they've moved. Then it is translated into mouse movement. Fun fact, they can capture thousands of photos in a single second. This number may vary depending on the speed movement. This allows the movement to capture some very precise movement. The mouse sensors are black and white cameras, only a few pixels in size. They can capture thousands of photos in the span of 1 second. Alright, next up, not just a mouse. When you're using mouse controls, the Joy-Con 2 controller doesn't just act as a mouse. There's a host of other things it can do. For instance, the gyroscope and mouse can work together to determine which way and by how much you've turned something. This means you can use the mouse to ground rotate in certain games. Also, the mouse can work together with the HD rumble too. This lets you feel different kinds of rumble as you move the cursor around. And that's not all. The Joy-Con 2L and Joy-Con 2R both have built-in mouse sensors. So 2 people can play together with mouse controls. Or you can control 2 mice at once, 1 in each hand. So, you see, there's a lot to mouse controls. So mouse controls can be used alongside the gyroscope and rumble feature. 2-player, 1 mouse per player, or single-player, dual mice controls are also possible. Alright, let's go through the quiz. Crazy, I forgot this. Alright, let's do it. Okay, so, here's the insights quiz. Mouse sensors. Question 1. In what way can you play these games using Joy-Con 2 mouse controls? Nib by nibbling a cheese. I love that. It's so funny. Oh boy. I'm gonna say by moving a cursor. Alright, Joy-Con controls don't just have to be used on desks and tables. You can also use them on your lap. Don't use them underwater. Do not use them underwater. Don't. Just don't. Oh. Actually, you know what? It would be smart of me to actually answer with mouse controls here. Here we go. Question number 3. Which numbered area on a Joy-Con 2 controller shows in the case the mouse sensor? That will be number 2. Alright, and lastly, what does a gyroscope allow you to do with the Joy-Con 2 mouse controls? You can rotate what you grab with the mouse. Alright, let's see. Alright. That was fun. Alright, there we go. Alright. There we go. Alright, we got right stick. And NFC touch point. You can scan Amiibo by holding it here. Oh, I recognize that. The C button. You can press this button to access game chat. I remember back when C buttons were... What were they called? Oh yeah, when they were used for the camera on the Nintendo 64. Or the C stick on GameCube, which had the same function. Alright, we got home button. We got some quizzes. We'll head back in due time. We got the SL button. We got a lower mouse foot. Oh, you get it here. Send out the Joy-Con 2 controllers can make. An HD Rumble 2 creates rumble, but it's more than vibrations and can actually make its own sounds. Found any speakers. You might lower your system volume or mute your TV if you want to give it a shot. No, thank you. We're good. Alright, we got another sync button. Let's find all these things. There we go, another magnetic connector. Player LED. Mouse sensor. That's our button. The release button. And lastly, the upper mouse foot. Oh, we're finding all of these things. Alright, let's go take the quizzes now. Alright, if you'd like to learn a little something about the mouse sensor, you've come to the right place. You can learn about how the mouse sensor lenses are customized, Nintendo's mice of the past, and a few more interesting little factoids. Sure, we'll do it. Alrighty. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Okay. Alright, so let's go see the first one. Oops. That's the camera. Alright. What do we got here? Visible light. The mouse sensor doesn't just have a camera. It also has a light. This invisible light is known as infrared light. It's used to illuminate surfaces such as a table or your lap. Fun fact about this invisible light. It may become visible when viewed through a smartphone camera. The mouse sensor is equipped with infrared light. This light may become visible when viewed through a smartphone camera. Nice. Alright, custom lens. Normally a mouse's camera focuses so it can clearly reflect the immediate area. However, this is not the case for the Joy-Con 2. This is because the height of the Joy-Con 2 changes slightly depending if a strap is attached or not. There is enough to blur the focus, preventing the camera from capturing the surface clearly. So in order to focus, with or without the strap, it includes a custom lens. The mouse sensor's lens is custom. Small sheets. Here on the Joy-Con 2 controllers, we applied two small sheets. These sheets are called mouse feet. These mouse feet make the Joy-Con 2 easier to slide around. Two small sheets on each Joy-Con 2 controller make them easier to slide around. Suddenly, it's a mouse! The Joy-Con 2 controller can function like a mouse when you stand on a surface such as a desk. It refers back to the typical controller when you pick it up. You can experience it in games that support mouse controls. The console analyzes the data from the mouse sensors and accelerometer. It uses this data to check whether the Joy-Con 2 controller has been placed on a surface or if it's being held in the air. The home menu supports mouse controls, so you can give it a try there. Oh, it's like this. Ah, it works! Alright. Joy-Con 2 controller mouse controls can be activated by simply placing it on a flat surface such as a desk. Alright. We've already been there. Alright, long ago, Nintendo used to sell its own mice. There was the Super NES mouse in 1992. And the Nintendo 64 mouse exclusive to Japan in 1999. Incidentally, the mice of old uses a ball which rolled around inside. Nowadays, mice are far easier to use. There's no need to roll balls all over the place. I did not know that Nintendo had released some mice in the past. And old mice contained a ball that rolled around inside them. Alright. Is that back over? Now you've read all the insights, you can take a little quiz. Sure, we'll do it. Alrighty. Insights quiz. Alright. Number 1. Alright, that is the mouse sensor only uses camera, also with the following. That is an infrared light. Alright, a certain part of the mouse sensor has been customized to be different from a standard mouse. That's the lens. Question number 3. What is the function of the two small sheets on the Joy-Con 2? That is to help it slide better. Number 4. You can use the Joy-Con 2 as a mouse drawer simply place it on a surface. Change it back to a regular remote. You lift it off the surface. Say change bad please to the console microphone. Okay. There we go. And lastly, in which year did Nintendo release its very first mouse? Alright, that is a Super Nintendo Entertainment System mouse. So that has got to be 1992. Did I get him right? I did! I am just really good with these things. Alrighty, here we go. Alright. Let's go take a look around and see what else we can find here. Alright, there's more than just the magnetic connectors than just strong magnets, you know. For instance, there's a tiny gap between the console and the Joy-Con 2. Let's do it. Here's magnetic controller insights 2. Alright. Well, I attach with the buttons. With the Joy-Con 2 controllers connect to the Nintendo Switch 2 console, the magnets in the console's main body attract the SLSR buttons. There are a couple of reasons for this. For one, it makes the Joy-Con 2 controllers more difficult to detach. The SLSR buttons pop out ever so slightly when they're being pulled in by the magnets. This helps them attach snugly to the magnets. The SLSR buttons have room to move a little in multiple directions. This makes them more difficult to detach even if you try to wiggle them around. The SLSR buttons have room to move. Extra space helps them attach to the magnets, making them harder to detach. The magnets are thinly covered. The Nintendo Switch 2 console has hidden openings on it, like this one here. This gives the magnets room to stick out. The openings are covered with a sheet of material that's around 0.2 millimeters thick. Do not try to remove this. The closer a magnet is to what's attracted to, the stronger the force. This is why each one is covered with such a thin sheet. To create a stronger pull, the magnets are covered with thin sheets of material. Why the gap? If you look closely where the Joy-Con 2 controller is attached to the console, you'll notice there's a very narrow gap. There's actually a very important reason for this gap. It makes it harder to detach the Joy-Con 2. Without this gap, if you try to twist the Joy-Con 2 controllers, there's a leverage would make it easier to detach. Even the tiniest of gaps is there for a reason. There are gaps between the console and Joy-Con 2 controllers. These gaps make the controllers harder to detach. Alright, and last one. The magnetic connectors stay strong. These connectors on the Nintendo Switch 2 console are what connect the Joy-Con 2 controllers to the console. You may think that they look a little flimsy at first, but you can rest assured that the connectors have been designed to be safely used for a long time. First of all, the color parts of the Joy-Con 2 controllers slot firmly into the console, while the connectors on the console and on console controls loosely attached. This is still enough to connect them, however. As a result, even if you twist the Joy-Con 2 controller attached to the console, force will be first applied to the colored parts of the controller. This makes it difficult to apply force to the actual controllers. Now this video is shown for illustrative purposes only. What's more, even if you do forcibly twist the Joy-Con 2 controllers attached to the console, it's actually a little leeway for the connectors to move around. Since the connectors move in the direction that they're twisted, it's harder to apply force to them. Again, this video is shown for illustrative purposes only. Now the connectors are designed with safe long-term use in mind. Their design makes applying force to them more difficult. Alright, quiz time! Let's do some more magnets. Alright. First question. What happens when the SL buttons on the Joy-Con 2 controllers, when they're attached, they stick out a bit. Alright. Question 2. Roughly how thin are the sheets of material that cover the magnets in the Nintendo Switch 2 console? I believe it's 0.2 millimeters. The gap between the console and the Joy-Con 2 controllers affect the controllers in what way? They're harder to detach. Alright, question 4. In what way is this connector on a console fitted? I can't tell if it's firmly or loosely, so I'm going to go loosely. And I'm not going to get this correct. Oh! I got it correct! I doubted myself there for a minute. Alrighty. You got them alright. Color me impressed. It feels good to know all about magnetic connectors, right? Alrighty. Oh, thank you for taking the time to read so many of our insights. Oh, you're welcome. Alright, let's go try some mini-games and see what we got here. Alright, here's Guess the Angle, including hints. Yeah, let's try it out. Do you know what a 30-degree angle looks like? Yes. The Nintendo Switch 2 console stand can be set free within 100 range of angles. So in this game, test how precisely you measure those angles. Alright, first you set the stand to the angle shown on your screen. And you gotta find just how accurate you are with your measurement. Alright, now this requires taking the console out of the dock, so we're not going to be trying that here. Just remember, there's some stuff that you can do in this game that you can't do on a TV, so we're not going to try it. Alright, next up, we got Speed Maze Long Walls. And this is going to be about mouse controls. Pay attention. We're going to be using them a lot. Try not to hit the electrified walls. Move quickly but carefully and get in the hole. This is good. Reaching the goal is pretty tough, and the clear metal is even tougher. Let's do it. I'm gonna say this right now. This is gonna be like, let me think. This is gonna be like mini golf on steroids. Alright, because that requires mouse controls. Alright, here we go. Ah, shit. Man, they made this a hard one. Alright. Okay. We're not gonna try the other mode, though. Yeah, that was pretty good, though. Oh, part 2 is now available. Alright. Oh, we have one more quiz here. Each Rondo can produce its own sounds. So, let's see about the history of Nintendo Controller Rumble. Alright. Here we go. Alright, various vibrations. The Nintendo Switch 2 system's HD Rumble 2 feature is pretty versatile. It can produce various vibration patterns. The number of vibrations per second can be adjusted in a short amount of time, so the patterns can be complex. The Nintendo Switch system's HD Rumble is limited in the vibrations it can handle. With HD Rumble 2, all sorts of vibration patterns are possible. It can also reproduce realistic sensations. Okay, so HD Rumble 2 can produce complex vibration patterns. That's nice. Responsive Rumble. One aspect of the Nintendo Switch 2 system's HD Rumble 2 feature is that it's very responsive. As soon as the game sends out a signal to initiate Rumble, the highest intensity Rumble can be reached in an instant. The response time is much quicker than with a motor, which creates Rumble by spinning a weight. It also several times faster than Nintendo Switch system's HD Rumble feature. Receiving quick feedback from a Rumble feature like this can feel pretty satisfying. So, HD Rumble 2 is very responsive. It feels nice to have a quick response. Alright, Rumble with sound. The Nintendo Switch 2 system's HD Rumble 2 can do more than create vibrations. It can also create sounds. This is possible because speakers and the HD Rumble 2 feature operate in similar ways. Speakers produce sound by vibrating a soft plate. HD Rumble 2 produces sound by vibrating a weight, which causes the Joy-Con 2 to vibrate in turn. The Nintendo Switch Joy-Con makes sounds too, but the volume and clarity have been improved here, so the HD2 Rumble can also produce sound. And lastly, Nintendo and Rumble. 1. Nintendo has been making controllers with Rumble for a long time. Here was the first one back in 1997, the Nintendo 64 Rumble Pack that was released with Star Fox 64. Next up in 2001, we had the Nintendo GameCube remote. 2006, my personal favorite, the Wii remote. 2012, the Wii U gamepad for Wii U. That thing sucked. And it sucked donkeys. And 2017, Joy-Con for Nintendo Switch. Also, the Pokeball Plus for Nintendo Switch. We've been adding Rumble 2 controllers and accessories for a long time in order to enhance players' gaming experience. So Nintendo's making controllers with Rumble for a long time. But I'm gonna say this right now, though. The Wii U gamepad always had and always will suck donkeys. Alright, let's go do the quiz. Alright, here we go. So, let's do it. HD Rumble 2 Insights. Alright, let's see what you got for me. Alright, question number 1. Which of the following has been new introduced to the HD Rumble 2 feature? Very complex vibration. Question number 2. Out of the HD Rumble HD2 features, which is more responsive? HD Rumble 2. That's the one. Question 3. The HD Rumble Soft 2 features produce sounds by shaking what exactly? That's the Joy-Con 2 remotes. Question number 4. Since when is Nintendo making controllers with Rumble? That'd be the Nintendo 64. I failed. No, I didn't fail. I did pretty good. Alright. So, with that out of the way, perfect score! Amazing work! Feels good to be a little more familiar with HD Rumble 2, huh? Okay. Let's keep going. And I think we got everything here. Alright. There we go, that's all the stamps. Alright. I might have go down the ladder to get to the next area. Area D. Watch step. Oh, before you head out, I have an important safety message for you. Regardless of how bad you may want to see inside of hardware, like a gaming console or controllers, please do not disassemble any of it. It could be very dangerous to do so. Instead, you can safely observe the interior contents for the safety of this welcome tour. They just had to say that. And now, we're on a motherboard. Let's go. Alright, Joy-Con 2 chip. Home button. C button. NFC touch point. B button. Oh, brilliant. Well, back to the lost and found. Here you go. I found this. Alright, there we go. Alright, A button. X button. Y button. Plus button. Oh, what's that here? Oh, we got more. Alright, HD Rumble 2. Okay, and I'm missing one more. What could it be? Alright. What I got here? Oh, golf course. Let's try it out. Looks like you got at least one medal. Alright, speed golf. Beginner's course. Okay. If you're for a play, you can put the Joy-Con 2 mouse controls and whack the ball. On yourself with the ball and determine the angle you need. And we'll hold a Joy-Con button, slide a Joy-Con 2 controller to swing the club, and put the ball in the hole. Oh, and scoring this minigame is a little different from real golf. It's based on speed, not a number of shots. Sure, let's try it out. This is gonna be interesting. Speed golf beginner course. Alright, mouse controls. Here we go. Far! Here we go. Oh, never mind. Alright, here we go. Oh, never mind. Fail. Ah! Oh, God. Oh, my God. Tiger Woods is probably watching this and is basically ashamed of me right now. I guarantee it. Alright, let's try to go for 5 seconds now. Ha! Wow. Alrighty. Pretty nice. Alright, there's also part 2 available, but that requires 17 medals. Let's see what's in here. TED demo, not a game, but pretty cool experience. HD Rumble 2. Alright. Let's do it! Let's do the dual HD Rumble. Never mind! We have to use this in handheld mode. Alright, let's go do the quizzes. Let's go do the quizzes here, Bo. Alright, have you ever wondered about the curve on the side of the Joy-Con 2 controller? Or about the long L and R buttons? Oh, why not? Alright. Check. Bigger, but still easy to use. As you may have already noticed, the Nintendo Switch 2 system is larger than the Nintendo Switch system. For that reason, Joy-Con 2 controllers are also larger than the Joy-Con controllers. But we felt that if all we did was make controllers bigger, they might have to become more difficult to use. So we made sure the number of adjustments to make sure the new size wouldn't hinder the functionality. For example, making the Joy-Con 2 controllers bigger meant it could be harder for some players to reach the LR buttons and ZR buttons with their fingers. So we extended the length of these buttons. Another issue is that the corners on the bottom of the remote would press into your hands. We solved this by rounding off these corners by smoothing out the angle. In addition to these changes, we tested various button positions millimeter by millimeter to make them easy to press. In short, we put a lot of effort into making sure the larger Joy-Con 2 controllers would not be a problem. They're designed to be easy to use, even for people with smaller hands. The Joy-Con 2 controllers have been designed to be easy to use. Oh, nice. Alright, next up, longer L and R buttons. One way we made the Joy-Con 2 controllers easy to hold is by making the L and R buttons longer. This makes the buttons easier to press even when you're using mouse controls. To make these longer buttons feel satisfying, no matter where you press them, we built in two shafts, each of which contain a spring. Go ahead and press the LR buttons in various spots and see how they feel. Their LR buttons contain two shafts. Alright, lastly, new C button. The Joy-Con 2 has a new C button that lets you quickly access the game chat menu. The aim of the button make you think it's over the 8-beat buttons, but it's actually a similar function to the home button. Alright, that's pretty nice. That is very nice, I gotta say. Okay. You read all the insights. I appreciate it. Alright, let's go do the quiz. Alright, Insights Quiz. Joy-Con 2 Controllers. Volume 1. Alright. What changes we made to Joy-Con 2 controllers so they made them easy to use despite their size? No! The special gloves, nope. Sharper angles have been added so your hands can grip them more easily. Nope. Nope. The LR buttons are larger so your fingers can reach them more easily. How have the L and R buttons been modified to make it satisfying no matter where you press them? Two shafts have been added. And lastly, that is the C button. I love the incorrect answers. They're very funny here. Haha! Don't you know the I'm still standing after all this time? Okay. That's all. And wow. Alright. Did you know there are a lot of North and South poles contained within the parts that make each Rumble 2? Oh, let's take a look at them. Alright. Alright, so multiple North and South poles. Strong vibrations require strong magnetic forces. As such, the Nintendo Switch 2 system's HD Rumble 2 needs strong magnets. Its magnets are stronger than those used for Nintendo Switch system's HD Rumble. However, it's not just a strong magnet. A normal magnet consists of two poles, a north pole and a south pole. But the magnets in HD Rumble 2 have multiple north and south poles. And by combining several of these magnets, we get a magnetic force that's stronger than that of a two-pole magnet. Oh, that's nice. The magnets in the HD Rumble have north and south poles, and on top of that, the magnets are combined. Quiet Rumble. If the rumble is too strong, things can get a little noisy. Buttons and other parts may rattle into each other. This isn't ideal, of course, so we took various measures to ensure that it's not too noisy. Parts are attached with double-sided tape. This prevents gaps from forming. Our goal is for you to feel the vibration as much as possible. Special effort was made to prevent individual parts from colliding with each other. Alright, Nintendo and Rumble. Nintendo's been making game cartridges Rumble for a long time. So I can see game cartridges for Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. Well, you could say they're the precursor to modern day game cards. So in 1999, we had a Pokemon Pinball for Game Boy and Game Boy Color. In 2005, we had WarioWare Twisted for the Game Boy Advance. In 2006, we had Drill Dozer for Game Boy Advance. In 2005, we had a Nintendo DS Rumble Pack. Sadly, you can only use this with a normal DS or a DS Lite. Sorry. With creating these cartridges, the cartridge itself was rumbling. Sometimes the game cartridge itself has been able to rumble. Alright. Quiz time. Alright. Here we go. Ugh. Alright, HD Rumble 2. Question number 1. Alright, what do the magnets held within the HD Rumble parts contain a lot of? North and South poles. Alright, number 2. Joy-Con 2 buttons are attached to other parts with double-sided tape, stopping vibration from doing what to the buttons? Round them into other parts. Question number 3. In the past, Nintendo made something pictured here that can vibrate. Those were game cartridges. Alright. Success! Alrighty. Is there anything else we can take a look at? Alright, let's head back up. There's something I'm missing. Alright. Oh. I gotta go down here. Oh. Battery. I don't think I'd find that. And now we can go to Area E. Alright. Let's head back there. And now we can go down. Alright. Here we go. Now to get to Area E, we gotta walk a bit, so... I really like this area. Alright, let's walk around this way. And... so what do we have here? The straps. Very well. Alright, player LED, nice. My plus symbol, minus symbol. Let's go down here. A mouse foot. The strap's large mouse feet make it easier to do a Joy-Con control around. Yeah, we know. Alright. Mouse foot lower. Alright. There we go. Let's head back. there's another place where we can do a quiz. We got our demo. An attraction that intimidates the experiences of sawing. As your saw moves back and forth, the HD Rumble 2 feature will create realistic vibrations. Oh, I definitely like that. Alright, here we go. HD Rumble 2 saw. Alright, the exhibit requires mouse controls. Move the saw, fell a tree slowly, fell a tree quickly. Let's see what we got here. Now, here we go. This is what power feels like. Alright, there we go. A lot of stuff here. Really did feel like I was holding the saw. Alright. Did you know how Joy-Con 2 straps are useful for mouse controls? Or how locking mechanism works? Okay, sure. Alright. Attaching or detaching the strap is easy. The Joy-Con 2 straps attaches to the controller, and you loop the strap around your wrist. That lets you hold the controller safely as you play. Press the Joy-Con 2 release button to easily detach it. Attaching and detaching the strap is easy. Strap attaches to the controller, then detaches with the press of a release button. Strap helps with mouse controls. You'll want to use a Joy-Con 2 strap when playing a game that requires you to shake the Joy-Con 2 controller. It also comes in handy when using the Joy-Con 2 mouse controls. Strap makes the controller less likely to fall on its side, and the pads at the bottom make it easier to slide. So as you might imagine, it's still helpful for games that require both motion and mouse controls. The strap makes mouse controls easier to use. It helps when you need to use motion or mouse controls. The last one. Small locking mechanism. Let's take a look at the top part that attaches to the controller. It contains a locking mechanism made up of small parts. When attached, it moves and locks into place like this. And it detaches like so. There is a very tight spring that holds it in place. Strap contains a small spring that locks it in place. Alright, to the quiz. Alright. Would you be interested in taking Joy-Con 2 Straps Insight Quiz 1? Let's do it. Alright, Insights Quiz, Joy-Con 2 Strap. Here we go, question number 1. Alright, what can you disable the Joy-Con 2 controllers once you boot the Joy-Con 2 straps around your wrists? Use motion controls. Alright, question number 2. Aside from motion controls, what other feature is easier to use when the Joy-Con 2 straps are attached to the controller? That would be mouse controls. Lastly, the tiny springs found inside the part that attaches the controller are for what purpose? To lock the straps to the Joy-Con 2 controllers. Okay, you actually catapult erasers with the spring. I'm watching someone try that. Alright. I don't even think we need to do more of the quizzes here. I think what we just gotta do is keep searching out. Oh, we got more Joy-Con 2 strap insights. It's a long way around. Yeah, target practice. I'll come back for that. Alright. The cover. The cover wraps around where the strap ends meet. Alright. So, it's over this way. See what we got here. Alright. Click, quick, single target. Alright. Once again, it's use smash controls. If you will indulge a short preamble, as your mouse skills improve, so too should your speed and accuracy. It's a conception of this minigame, which strips down the gameplay to its bare fundamentals. All you do is click on the target. It should be a strong part, no? Here's the catch. This game, you'll need lightning fast reaction, and too slow and you won't get the clear medals. This minigame has been minified to maximize your mouse mobility. Let's do it. Ah! Try again. Alright, we're gonna head back. We're gonna head back. Pretty nice, though. Alright. We got part 2, which is nice. I think I'll pass. We have hit a dead end. Oh. Alright, back to the Lost and Found. Alright, let's drop this off. Here you go. Alright. There we go. There we go, the locking mechanism. Alright. We've been there. Yeah, let's head back up here. No, I don't want to go back there. Alright, there we go. Rubber cap. Help to muffle the noise produced when the Joy-Con 2 vibrates. Alright. Area F is soon open. Let's go finish the quiz. Alright, let's do it. Joy-Con Strat 2 insights. Alright, fiberglass. Part of Joy-Con 2 strap that attaches to the controller is fairly thin. It would be, if we had made it out of normal plastic, it would be easily bent. So, We interlace fine glass fibers or fiberglass into the plastic. We did our best to make sure that this part does not bend. The part that attaches to the controllers is reinforced with fiberglass. Pretty nice. Alright, next up, quiet even when vibrating. Close to the part that loops around your wrist, there are two small pieces of rubber. When these small pieces of rubber are pressed firmly to the Joy-Con 2, the rattling noise that comes from the Joy-Con 2 when it vibrates is reduced. So you see, even little pieces of rubber have a purpose. The part that attaches to the controller is padded with rubber to quiet when it vibrates. Alright. Running stitch, Satan stitch, zigzag stitch. Take a look at the part of Joy-Con 2 strap that loops around your wrist. Passes through the part that attaches to the controller. At the end, it meets up under there so that it forms a loop. On its own, this would be a problem. That's because, as the loop spins around, this part would bump into the strap lock. The strap lock would become difficult to move. Our solution? We made sure the loop doesn't spin all the way around. We used a sewing machine to sew this bit together. And that's not all. We wanted to make sure that the sewn part is tear resistant, even when pulled. It uses a complicated stitching pattern. The running stitch, Satan stitch, zigzag stitch, running to back stitch. The strap is stitched to prevent it from turning all the way around. It uses a complex form of stitching. Alright. Alright, here was the quiz. Let's see what we got here. Joy-Con 2 strap, Volume 2. Alright, first question. The plastic used for the part of the Joy-Con 2 strap that attaches to the controllers combined with which material is solid for bending easily? That's fiberglass. What are these two pieces of rubber on the Joy-Con 2 strap for? Quiet the vibration. Question number 3. What was done to this part of the loop around your wrist to prevent it from turning? Sewn together with a sewing machine. Alright. I'm getting very good at all these things. Alright. I think there's a quiz I missed on inner area, so let's go back there. Finish. Oops. Nope. Let's go back up. And we'll go attempt this quiz. Alright, let's see what we got. Alright. Here we go. Joy-Con 2 is a computer. The Nintendo Switch 2 system controllers are called Joy-Con 2, but they're more than just mouse controllers. Each Joy-Con 2 controller contains its own computer that's capable of many functions. For example, it has memory for storing data. It compiles data on certain Joy-Con 2 features. This includes data on the buttons, control sticks, mouse sensors, amiibos, and more. You can send this data to the Nintendo Switch 2 via Bluetooth and receive rumble data from the system. This is what allows the HD Rumble 2 feature to feel as great as it does. So you see, a Joy-Con 2 is as much a computer as it is a controller. Each Joy-Con 2 controller contains a computer. Alright, accelerometer. Each Joy-Con 2 controller has a built-in accelerometer. It's used to detect which way and how far you've moved the controller. To get a little more technical, it determines the direction and the strength of the force acting upon it. Gravity is another type of force, which pulls all things on the planet downward. The accelerometer uses gravity to tell which way is down. Combined with the gyroscope, which knows which way you've turned it and how much, it can work a lot. For instance, in games where you need it to shake the Joy-Con 2 around, it can tell how you've moved it. The accelerometer recognizes which direction and how far you move the Joy-Con 2 controller, and even tell which way is down. And last one, gyroscope. The gyroscope is inside the Joy-Con 2. It knows which way and by how much you turn the controller. However, it does not know which direction the controller is facing at the start. Before the game starts, the gyroscope takes note of its own orientation for reference. And with the accelerometer knowing which way is down, it can figure out how the Joy-Con 2 was turned and which way it's facing now. The gyroscope knows which way and by how much you've turned the Joy-Con 2 controller. However, it does not know which direction it's facing at the start. Alright, quiz time! Alright. Here we go. Insights quiz. Alright, question number 1. Which of the following can be found inside the Joy-Con 2 controllers? A computer. Question number 2. What can you tell using the Joy-Con 2 controller's accelerometer? Which side is facing downward? And lastly, what can the Joy-Con 2 controller gyroscope tell you about the controller itself? How much it was turning, which way or which way it's initially facing, or... I'm gonna take the middle one. Alright. Success. Alright. To the L button. Alright. Now to Area F we can go. Let's see what we got ourselves next. Alright, we're going next up to the dock. Man, what's this way? Oh. So we can't go here yet. So we'll come back here soon. And there we go. We've made it to the dock. Alright, back cover locking mechanism. Oh, awesome fountain, nice. Alright, the AC adapter. Oh. Gonna buy a 4K compatible TV. I'm gonna just see what this is anyway. Alright. Let's see the 4K pixel hunt, if this crashes my TV or not. Alright, can you see the pixel? Yeah, I don't think it works on here. Oh well. We tried. I'm gonna stick with my 1080p TV, but here, let's see about the AC adapter. Alright. Nintendo Switch 2 AC adapter cable. Alrighty. The Nintendo Switch 2 AC adapter's cable can be detached. This means that when you want to carry the AC adapter around with you, you can easily stow both parts. The AC adapter is a detachable cable. Alright, small yet powerful. The Nintendo Switch 2 AC adapter is much smaller than the Nintendo Switch AC adapter. However, it can output a lot of power. Compared to the Nintendo Switch AC adapter, it's increased to more than 1.5 times from 39 watts to 60 watts. It's small, but mighty. I get that. Alrighty, thin and flexible. The USB-C charging cable for the Nintendo Switch 2 AC adapter is thinner and more flexible than the Nintendo Switch AC adapter cable. This makes the AC adapter convenient and easy to pick up nicely on the go. It's easy to wrap up the cable gently, as shown here. If you have a Nintendo Switch AC adapter handy, compare the flexibility of the two cables. Ah, that's nice. Alright, quiz time! We offer quizzes to anyone who gets through a set of insights. Here we go. Alright, first question. Alright, question number 1. It's detachable. Alright, number 2. What does the Nintendo Switch 2 AC adapter have more of? It's got more power! It's got power! Alright. How does Nintendo Switch 2 AC adapter cable compare to Nintendo Switch AC adapter cable? It's thinner and more flexible. Alright. Yeah. Holy cow. How much more of these do we have to go through? Alright. Alright, let's head down. Alright, another demo. Got at least 2 medals. What is this demo? Alright, HM mouse sensor. Alright. Dual mouse water scoop. Sure, let's try it out. Alright. Alright, there we go. Alright, that was fun. Alright, HDMI port. Okay. We got that. Alright, area F. There's an air vent somewhere. You have to go to the bottom. Ah, there it is, air vent. Alright. Ultra fast, 4K HDR. Sure, I'm interested in TV output. Alright, TV output in settings 1. Wow, that's a long list of things to read. Ultra high speed. Tetris 2 system comes with an HDMI cable. The cable is an ultra high speed HDMI cable. As the name suggests, it can transmit data very quickly, and indeed this cable needs to transmit a lot of data. Shared and detailed 4K picture, video display with a bright light, and smooth images sent to your TV. To achieve all this, a compatible game and TV are required. 120Hz supports up to 440p, 60Hz up to 4K. Cable packaged with the Nintendo Switch 2 system is an ultra high-speed HDMI cable. When with a compatible gaming TV, you can enjoy all sorts of visuals. Alright, 4K. In terms of TV image output, Nintendo Switch 2 is compatible with 4K resolution. 4K images made up of many dots or pixels, 3,840 horizontal and 2,160 vertically. That's 4 times as many pixels as Nintendo Switch. This is the most ever for any Nintendo console. If you have both a game and TV that are 4K compatible, you can look forward to having a sharp and detailed picture. Nintendo Switch 2 is 4K compatible. If you have a compatible game and TV, you can experience a sharp, detailed picture. Alright, HDR. When a Nintendo Switch 2 console outputs video to the TV, it can do so using very bright light. Devices capable of this are HDR compatible. HDR is short for High Dynamic Range. The Nintendo Switch console can use approximately 16.77 million different types of light and color. Alright. If we have an HDR compatible game and TV, it is now possible to display bright, intense light. The screen you're looking at right now is a simple image that doesn't use HDR. If we were to enable HDR, it would look like this. In the non-HDR image, there's very little difference in brightness between the most vivid parts of the explosion and the area around it. Meanwhile, in the HDR image, the brighter areas can shine very brightly while the darker parts remain unchanged. You can create subtle differences in darkness in dark places, though the brightness output will vary depending on the TV and TV settings. Try to find a viewing setup that works best for you. The Nintendo Switch 2 console can output bright intense light. It can use hundreds of millions of different types of light and color. Alright, last one. Smooth movement. When connected to a TV, Nintendo Switch 2 can produce an image that changes at high speeds. That's 120 times per second, in fact. So we say that the screen is 120 Hz compatible. If you have a 20 Hz compatible game and TV, you'll get the appearance of smooth movement as the picture changes quickly. Nintendo Switch changes images up to 60 times per second. So a rate of 120 times per second means that the movement looks twice as smooth. The video shown is just an example, but if 120 Hz is supported, mouse movements will appear smoother. Looking around the right stick will feel smoother. And as you scroll on the screen, it will look smoother, and so on. And that's not the only benefit of playing games that support 120 Hz. The world appearing to you 120th of a second faster could give you an advantage during intense gameplay. The Nintendo Switch can produce an image that changes up to 120 times per second. Smooth movement is possible with a compatible game and compatible TV. Alright, let's go do the quiz. Alright, let's do it. Okay, Insights quiz. Alright. Question number 1. The HDMI cable, that'll be ultra high speed, used on Nintendo Switch 2. Question 2. Is compatible of 4K resolution. Y2K, that's funny. How many different combinations of lights and colors are Nintendo Switch 2 able to use? Hundreds of millions. Lastly, question number 4. What is the image on a TV screen changes rapidly? How does it start to look? Smooth. Alright. That worked! Alright. Looked pretty nice. Alright. And there's more to learn over there. Good. I need more to learn. Oh, welcome on in, Ashley. Why does Splatoon Raiders look like... I think it's probably being made by a different company. Probably. I think Nintendo's probably having one of their external first-party studios make this. Let's just... and relax. The game just got revealed today, so it's gonna be a while before we discover any more. So, let's take some time and we'll discover what they've got for us, alright? If it's really something I don't like in this world, it's how apparently there's a lack of patience these days. Alright. Back to the left stick. Alright, there we go. Alright, we got the lost and found. Alright, back to the HDMI port. Let's go see what else we can uncover. Because I think, there's a little more we can find here. So, we'll go back to that in due time. Let's go to the air intake. There is the Ethernet, there is the air intake lower right, and lastly is the Ethernet port, or the LAN port. I'm calling it the Ethernet port. You don't like it? Too fucking bad. Alright. And then there is the last area. Switch to camera. Now here's a cool... Alright, so let's go over and let's take the quiz here. Is a dock just a fancy word for a stand, or is there more to it? Let's take a look. Alright, 4 different things. Alright, the dock is more than a stand. At first glance, the Nintendo Switch 2 dock might just look like a regular stand. But it's actually much more than that. It can change video signals from the Nintendo Switch 2 consoles into signals that your television can receive. It has USB ports, so you use multiple kinds of devices. And it allows you to connect to the internet via a LAN cable. In addition to being a stand, the dock serves many other purposes. Alright, a revamped dock. The Nintendo Switch 2 dock is designed for use with the Nintendo Switch 2 console. This means that it can't be used with the Nintendo Switch console. At first glance, the new dock doesn't look so different from the Nintendo Switch dock. But on the inside, a lot has changed. It needs to keep up with the Nintendo Switch 2 console's rapid video signal. Also, now the dock is bigger. If you try to force the Nintendo Switch console into the Nintendo Switch 2 dock, the control sticks on attached controllers might get stuck. In short, please don't try to insert any Nintendo Switch consoles into the Nintendo Switch 2 dock. Got it. Conversely, the Nintendo Switch 2 console cannot be used with the... The Nintendo Switch 2 console uses a lot more electricity than the Nintendo Switch console. So even if you could connect it, it would exceed the Nintendo Switch's dock power compatibilities and simply wouldn't work. Please make sure to only use the Nintendo Switch console with the Nintendo Switch dock, and only use the Nintendo Switch 2 console with the Nintendo Switch 2 dock. The Nintendo Switch... Hang on a minute. Alright. Next up. The Nintendo Switch 2 dock has a cooling fan inside. This prevents the dock from getting too hot and allows the Nintendo Switch 2 console to perform at its best. Also, the base of the dock is raised about 2 millimeters. There are many holes on the inner side of the dock. The console and the dock's fans draw air in through those holes, and through gaps in the sides. This helps the inside of the console and the dock stay as cool as possible. The fan of the Nintendo Switch 2 dock allows the Nintendo Switch 2 console to perform its best. The many holes on the dock's underside, which is raised about 2 mm, allow for air intake. Alright, the rounded back. If you look at the back of the Nintendo Switch 2 dock, you'll find it has rounded edges. This dock has a much more round shape to it than the Nintendo Switch dock. Why is it rounded like this? It's so that the release buttons on the Joy-Con 2 controllers are easier to reach. When the Nintendo Switch 2 console is inserted into the dock, attaching a Joy-Con 2 controller should be easy. The dock isn't rounded just because it looks cuter that way. The back of the Nintendo Switch 2 dock is rounded so that the Joy-Con 2 controllers are easier to detach. I like that. You've read them all? That's the ticket. Alright, let's go back. Alright, here we go. Alright, Nintendo Switch 2 dock, Volume 1. Alright, question number 1. Nintendo Switch 2 dock serves many purposes. Which of the following does it not do? I'd say use infrared communication. Question number 2. Which of the following can a Nintendo Switch 2 console use? Nintendo Switch 2 dock. Alright. Why are the holes at the bottom of the Nintendo Switch 2 dock for? It's to take in air. Alright, and lastly, why is the back of the Nintendo Switch 2 dock rounded? To make Joy-Con 2 controllers easier to detach. Alright. Success. Alrighty! Oh, that's brilliant. We have more to read up on the dock. Man, this game's taking a while. You notice those little bumps near the system connector on the dock? No? Alright. Let's see it. Oh, only 3 this time. Alright. There are some bumps. If you look closely at the Nintendo Switch 2 dock from directly above, you'll see a mechanism around the connector that makes it easier to insert the Nintendo Switch 2 console. Here in the middle, there's a narrow ridge, and there are 2 little bumps here to the left and right. Now, if we take a look at the Nintendo Switch 2 console, you'll see that it has indentations that line up with the ridges and bumps. These guide the console into the right position for it to fit into the dock's connector. First, the ridge in the middle of the dock fits into the indentation on the console's underside. Line them up. Next, the left and right bumps fit into the console's under indentations for even more precise alignment. These bumps sit on top of a small stand which is supported by springs. The connector only comes out when this stand is pushed down. When the connector at last emerges, the console connects to the dock via the connector, which, with such a mechanism, even if you get a bit sloppy while inserting the console into the dock, it should still work. There is a ridge and 2 bumps near the system connector in the Nintendo Switch 2 dock. The Nintendo Switch 2 console inserter with slight imprecision still connects to the dock via the system connector. Alright. Slightly raised spots. The underside of the Nintendo Switch 2 console is a little rounded. Down here, near where the system connector and the dock goes, there are spots that are slightly raised. If the positioning is a little off when the console is inserted into the dock, these raised spots will come into contact with the inside of the dock. Without this raised spot, the ridge on the dock might slide out the rounded part of the console and bend. Additionally, the connectors may not be inserted properly. With this slightly raised spot, we've ensured that the console will not get stuck. So there are raised spots on the console around where the system connector on the dock goes. The raised spot supports the console so it doesn't get stuck. Nice. Alright, last one. One of the 4 feet. On the inner side of the Nintendo Switch 2 dock, there are 4 small rubber feet. These rubber feet prevent a dock from sliding when the console is inserted. This may sound great, With the cable connected to the dock snags and the feet catch, the dock might tilt and fall over since it doesn't slide. So, we've modified one of the 4 feet. A bit of the plastic sticks out slightly more. If the dock tilts slightly, this plastic will touch the floor. It will slide a little bit, making the dock less likely to fall over. The tiny extra piece of plastic comes in very handy. The Nintendo Switch 2 dock has rubber feet that stop it from slipping. And what was that? Okay. One of the feet slides more easily. Okay. Quiz time. Here we go. Nintendo Switch 2 dock, Volume 2. Alright, the ridge and the bumps in the Nintendo Switch 2 dock allow the Nintendo Switch to insert what way? Some imprecision. Alright, question number 2. On the Nintendo Switch 2 console, some gray spots can be found around the system connector on dock goes. What are they for? To stop the console from getting stuck. Question number 3. How many of these 4 feet on the Switch 2 are deliberately slippery? I'd say just 1. Alright, we're doing pretty good. I think we might actually get perfect on this game. Alrighty. Alright. There we go. See what we got here. Alright, it's easy to use without any setup. Some TVs include special settings suited to the games. It's sometimes called game mode. This makes the image less prone to lag, which may explain them easier. When it comes to Nintendo Switch 2, you may not need to enable such TV settings manually. It automatically switches the TV to a mode that's suited for games. This is known as being as ALLM mode compatible. ALLM stands for Auto Low Latency Mode. However, this feature is only compatible for ALM compatible TVs. I don't know if mine is. The system is set to automatically make games easier to play without having to change any settings. Nintendo Switch 2 can now switch a TV to gaming mode without you changing any settings, but it only works with compatible TVs. Alright, interacting with the TV. Nintendo Switch 2 exchanges more than just images to TV. It interacts in all kinds of ways. The console is what is called CEC enabled. CEC stands for Consumer Electronics Control. When you power on the Nintendo Switch 2 system, the TV will automatically turn on and the input mode will change. And when the TV is turned off, the Nintendo Switch 2 system will automatically enter sleep mode. This feature can be found under System Settings and the Home menu, and it's called Match TV Power State. Not only that, but when the TV will also display Switch 2 when switching the input to the Nintendo Switch 2 console. With CEC compatibility, the Nintendo Switch 2 console is easily recognized by the TV. However, the capability of your TV may vary from model to model. You'll need to check the TV's instructions for more information. Alright, so the Nintendo Switch 2 console interacts with the TV in a number of ways besides image output. It's designed to be simple and easy to use with TVs. Nice. Alright. Changing the video signal. When you play it on a Nintendo Switch 2 system connected to a TV, various electrical signals are output via the USB Type-C connector on the console. Signals don't normally show up on the TV, not without a little extra help anyway. The Nintendo Switch 2 dock picks out the video signals, converts them into different video signals called HDMI, and sends the video signals to your TV via an ultra-speed HDMI cable. The dock does a lot of heavy lifting. The Nintendo Switch 2 dock converts video signals coming from the console into a format the TV can recognize. And lastly, how pictures get to the screen. When you connect the Nintendo Switch 2 console to a TV and turn on the power, images appear on the TV screen. You might think that the console is simply outputting signals to the TV, but in fact all kinds of processes are going on between the console, the dock, and the TV. When the console is turned on, its information is transmitted to the dock, which then transmits the signal through the cable to the TV. The TV then responds, and the dock relays that response back to the console. So you see the console and the TV communicate through the dock. At this point, the main unit asks the TV through the dock what kind of video it can handle, and the console receives the reply via the dock, and the console decides what kind of image to display. Finally, the image in the output from the console is converted by the dock, and then displayed on the TV. All sorts of processes are handled in a short span of time before the image is displayed. Various processes need to be complete before the image is displayed on the TV. Alright, let's go do the quiz now. Alright, here we go. Insights Quiz TV Output, Volume 2. 4 questions. Alrighty. Alright, when you connect get the Nintendo Switch 2 console to an ALLM compatible TV, what happens to the TV? It switches to a special gaming mode. Alright, question number 2. What's it called when the Nintendo Switch 2 console communicates with the TV in ways other than video? That would be EC enabled. Alright, question number 3. What does the Nintendo Switch 2 dot do with the video signal sent from the Nintendo Switch 2 console? Converts them for the TV. And lastly, how did Nintendo Switch 2 console and the TV communicate with each other before videos output? They use the dock. Alright. There we go! Okay. Alright, I think we have one more place left to explore. I think. Let's see what it is. Alright, we got the Area F stamps. Alright. Next up is Area G. Oops! Wrong escalator. Oh, it's the camera. Yeah, I'm not getting a Nintendo Switch 2 camera, so... thank you. Alright. Alright, here's the quiz about the Switch 2 camera. Alright. I'm not gonna one of these things unless I really must. Alright, the Nintendo Switch 2 camera has a movable head. It can be tilted up and down. More precisely, you can tilt it down about 10 degrees or up about 25 degrees from its initial position. With this range of motion, even if you place the camera somewhere high or down low, you should still be able to center it on what you want it to capture. Also, to keep the head at the angle you adjust it to, we sandwich silicone rubber between the inner parts. The camera can be tilted downward about 10 degrees or upward about 25 degrees. Alright, capturing a wide angle. One benefit of the Nintendo Switch 2 camera is that it can capture a fairly wide angle. To get a little technical, the field of view is 110 degrees. It's nearly twice what the Nintendo 3DS camera could capture. Thanks to this wide angle, the camera can capture your whole face even when you play in handheld mode. In tabletop mode, it makes it easier to capture two people playing side by side. And in TV mode, the camera can even capture a player who's standing. It's also easier to fit multiple people sitting around a room within the field of view. The angle seems a little wide. You can zoom in when using Game Chat to narrow the field of view. The Nintendo Switch 2 camera can capture a wide angle, having a 110 degree field of view. The wide angle makes it easier to use the camera in any mode. Alright, preventing distortion. As we already noted, the Nintendo Switch 2 camera can capture a wide angle. However, if we didn't take any extra measures, the camera could run into a problem. The image would begin to distort around the edges. To address this, we designed the lens so that people near the edge of the frame aren't distorted. While this means that the spot directly in front of the lens will come out slightly distorted, it reduces the chance of people looking distorted. Without additional measures, a wide-angle camera will produce images with distorted edges. The Nintendo Switch 2 camera is designed so that people won't appear distorted. Privacy shutter. Privacy shutter Nintendo Switch 2 camera can close over the camera if you use its slider. When the shutter is closed, the camera won't be able to capture anything. So if you ever concerned about privacy, you can simply close the shutter. When the shutter is closed, the lens will be covered with a white lid, so you can tell at a glance that the camera didn't see you. You can also check the LED to the left of the lens. If the LED is on, the camera is on. If it's off, the camera is off. That's not all. To prevent the shutter from only closing halfway, we use a torsion spring so that either opens or closes fully. It will feel like it's being pulled open or pushed closed. One more thing. When you close the shutter, an image is sent to the Nintendo Switch console to indicate that nothing is being captured. You can close the shutter if you're concerned about privacy. As the lid opens and closes, it'll feel like it's being pulled or open or pushed shut. Alright, and lastly, Nintendo and cameras. Trace back through Nintendo's history, and you'll find that Nintendo has made it possible for players to play games using cameras for some time. We had the Game Boy camera that lets you play with pictures that take your face. You can aim the Wii Remote pointer lens at the TV screen. The Nintendo DSi system lets you calculate how similar two people's faces look. Nintendo 3DS and AR cards let you play with things that don't physically exist in the real world. The Wii U gamepad lets you see the faces of other players. You can build functional controllers out of cardboard using the IR motion camera on the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con. If you mark your live home circuit, you can turn your home into a racetrack. It's not just about taking pictures, it's about having fun. It has been making games that can be played with the use of a camera for a long time. Alright, quiz time! Alright, since you got through all the insights here, it's time for a quiz. Let's do it. Alright, Nintendo Switch 2 camera. Here we go. In what direction can the head of the Nintendo Switch move? Up and down. Alright. Roughly, how large is the Nintendo Switch 2's camera's diagonal field view? 110 feet. The lens of the Nintendo Switch 2 camera has been designed to make which part of it harder to distort? The edges. Alright. What must you do to cover the lens of the Nintendo Switch 2 camera? Turn the slider? I'm guessing that. Alright, which of the following has been a way you can use the camera to play? All the above. Did I get them right? Yep, I did. Alrighty. Alright, let's head up here. Man, I haven't been able to find any of the, Alright, we're gonna have to do a bit of walking around here. Alright, lens. Operation LED. Alright. Camera bring slider. Alright. Alright, we'll pick that up. Take it to the lost and found. Alright, what does the camera have a stand, and how does the camera make it easier to display your face? Let's see! Oh, great. More reading. Alright, an easy and versatile camera. Here's the Nintendo Switch 2 camera. It's been specifically designed for Nintendo Switch 2. So if you're playing in TV mode, tabletop mode, or handheld mode, it should be pretty easy to use. If the camera is connected via the console's upper USB Type-C connector, you can change play modes without even having to disconnect it. The Nintendo Switch 2 camera is designed to be easy to use, no matter the mode you're playing in. Alright. USB cameras. If you want to use a camera with Nintendo Switch 2, it does not have to be a specific Nintendo Switch 2 camera. Nintendo Switch 2 is compatible with other USB cameras. So, if you have an own USB camera, you may be able to use it if you connect to Nintendo Switch 2's console. However, it really depends on the USB camera itself. If you're not sure, you can select Test USB camera within the system settings, which can be accessed from the home menu. Then, try connecting your USB camera. But of course, the Nintendo Switch 2 camera will be sure to work with the Nintendo Switch 2. Alright, so some USB cameras are compatible with Nintendo Switch 2. The Nintendo Switch 2 camera is designed to be fully compatible with the Nintendo Switch 2 console. Alrighty. So, camera stand. One thing you'll notice about the Nintendo Switch 2 camera is that it comes with a stand. It's a handy thing. You can use it to quickly position the camera for use in any mode, whether it's TV mode, tabletop mode, or handheld mode. It won't move or fall over easily, and has been designed to help the camera capture a clear image no matter where you place it. That's not all. If you ever use the camera that captures your face from below, perhaps the resulting picture wasn't very flattering. But the Nintendo Switch 2 camera, its tall stand means you won't have to worry as much about being too low. You can also position the camera however you want in order to achieve the optimal angle. Finally, there's one more benefit to the stand's height. It's tall enough that you can place the camera behind the Nintendo Switch 2 dock and still get a good view. The camera stand lets you easily place it regardless of the mode you're playing in. The stand allows for the face to be captured at more preferable angles. Alright, next up, illuminating your face. The Nintendo Switch 2 camera is designed with brightness in mind. We want it to be able to capture people's faces brightly and clearly. First, the camera detects where your face is. Then, it brightens the image to bring out your face. Even if the background becomes too bright in the process. The camera prioritizes making faces brighter and clearer. Because of this, the Nintendo Switch 2 camera is not well suited to capturing plain landscapes. The camera is designed to make people's faces look brighter and clearer. It's not so suitable for capturing purely landscapes. Alright, next up, a clear image in the dark. Even in darker lighting, the Nintendo Switch 2 camera is capable of taking pictures even if you're in a dimly lit room at night. Its sensor can pick up small amounts of light which allow the camera to capture a clear image. However, a problem can arise if the camera tries to brighten the image in a dark environment. Image noise can be introduced from power supplies or heat, making the image even brighter. This may result in a muddy look. Normally, it wouldn't be possible to tell whether the muddiness is due to image noise or a light spot. So how does the camera handle this? Here's an example. If there were no lights in the previous image, then the image's noise is probably to blame. The camera constantly checks the image feed like this. It uses a number of different methods to try to eliminate as many sources of noise as possible. So the camera can capture a clear image even in dark environments, and it tries to eliminate as much image noise as possible. Alrighty. Time for the quiz. So, here we go. I hope this quiz is our last one. Nintendo Switch 2 camera, Volume 1. First question. Where on the Nintendo Switch 2 console do you connect the Nintendo Switch 2 camera? The USB Type-C connector. Alright. And now, which of the following types of cameras are compatible with the Nintendo Switch 2 console? USB cameras. Alright, question number 3. The Nintendo Switch 2 camera stand was designed to help take what kind of photos? That would be, photos that capture your face from a good angle. Question number 4. What can the Nintendo Switch 2 camera provide photos of? People's faces. That's easy. Alright, last one. When you're using the Nintendo Switch 2 camera, what is the race to prevent the picture from looking messy? I'd say noise. Alright. Here we go. Alright, we got them all. Alright. We're gonna head back down now. I'm gonna take a quick look around, see if there's anything else we need to get. No! Ah, okay, we're back up. There's the stand. There's the cable clip. And I think we have one more here. Ah, the stand itself, the base. Alright, that's everything here. Area 8? Wow, we're unlocking a lot of stuff. Alright, let's go see Area H. Because I was not expecting that. Alright. This came out of nowhere. Now, the cool thing about this game is, if you want to, you don't actually need to buy. You don't actually have to get all the accessories to enjoy it. And okay, there's more. I did not think there was more. Alright. I think we're gonna have to make a part 2 of this stream. Because there's so much here that I don't think we're gonna cover it in one. So I'm gonna head on out here, and I'm gonna say we'll have to do the rest of it some other time. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time we got for tonight. Thank you all for tuning into this live stream. Here is the plan for tomorrow night. We are going to for Thursday night. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna go take a look around. We're gonna do more Hollow Knight on Thursday night. And then on Friday night, we're going to do the Splatoon 2 Auto Expansion, where hopefully we'll beat Interagent free. And I hope it doesn't take more than 90. And then we're going to go complete the rest of the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. And on Saturday and Sunday, we will be doing the Splatoon 3 Undertow Spillway Big Run, and viewers are welcome to join. And hopefully, we don't go to hell in a handbasket. So anyways, thank you for joining me on this live stream. Now if you'll excuse me, we are going to go raid somebody. I'm gonna see who is live right now. And I'll send you guys over there. So I think I'll send you people to, who we got here? I'm gonna send you guys all over to Droid. So thank you guys all for tuning in this live stream, and I will catch you all in the next live stream. See you next time.